Hello and welcome back to Farmville Petting Zoo Part 2. In this episode we're going to be building a habitat and a chicken coop for the chickens, but I'm just going to zoom out here and show you a little bit of changes I've made. You can see I've done some basic terraforming, added some water, and this is the path what's going to lead to our lovely petting zoo. But let's focus on this area here where our chickens will be located just to the left, and I created this chicken coop, so let's have a look how I went about building that as first, shall we? And I really wanted to keep this authentic, realistic, so we had to add a chicken coop in our chicken habitat. Obviously it's far too small to be a habitat on itself, so we need to create an area around this chicken coop to be able to hold it in, and kind of like a pen, like a holding pen for the chickens. But yeah, this is one thing, do you know what, I've seen chicken coops being created, I've seen them on the Steam Workshop page, they've been very popular since the Barnyard Animal Pack release, and I've seen them on social media and Reddit and stuff, and I thought, this is going to sound really big-headed, but I looked at them and thought, I can do better than that, I can make a better chicken coop, and that's what I set out to do, and that was the main principle of this chicken habitat, this Sussex chicken habitat. You can see I'm using the conservation wood pieces like I always bloody do. Honestly, I use them in every single build, no matter what the theme, they're just so versatile. We're going to be using mesh, obviously, because that's what's going to create the majority of the chicken coop. But we're using these are actually out of the conservation pack, and they kind of look like hinges. I've kind of duplicated them over and turned them around to make them look like hinges. So it looks like the door of the chicken coop would actually be functional in real life. Obviously, unfortunately, it's not functional, it doesn't move, but we're giving the impression that it does. Then I played around with some roof ideas, and I always say this when building stuff in Planet Zoo: if you're not happy with something, go back and change it and just play around with different ideas until you get something that you are 100% happy with. And that's what I do with everything I build. And I started off with kind of this roof. You can see me just duplicating the mesh pieces over, and I thought, yeah, that'll work. And I thought, no, it just doesn't look right. It just wasn't the look I was going for. So after adjusting some of the mesh pieces, I put a slanted roof on, and then I started building up the end with, again, the conservation wood pieces, but recolored to white. We added some steps, we added some wheel, and we added an egg drop box as well. And that was the majority of the build done. I just needed to fill these gaps in, these pesky little gaps throughout the build. Again, with the conservation wood pieces, and adding a little trim there as well. And then on the side here, we're going to create an egg storage box. Again, realism. I'm going with that realistic aspect here to try to bring not just this habitat, this chicken habitat alive, but the whole zoo alive by making sure we are kind of, I wouldn't say ultra realistic, but making it look like everything would function if it was in real life. And it was quite... It's a very small build, this chicken coop, but it was quite easy to do once I got the hang of it. I went off a reference image. I literally just typed in Google chicken coop, and yeah, I worked off a reference image. See me just adding the lid to, which is going to be the door, to the actual chicken, which come first, the chicken or the egg? Leave in the comment section below, which do you think came first, the chicken or the egg? But yeah, just adding the lid to the egg box here. Again, we're going to create some hinges as well with the realism aspect. I know you're probably fed up of me saying realism, but this is what I'm going with in this zoo, in this petting zoo. So add them in so it looked like it would actually close. We need to get one of them as well and create a handle. Obviously, we need some way for our zookeepers to open this egg box where our chickens are going to store the eggs. Bank handle on there, and do you know what? That's pretty much the chicken coop pretty much done. I just rotate them around so it adds to the bottom of the chicken coop, and voila, we have got a chicken coop. Obviously we're going to need some eggs, so we're going to add some eggs. Luckily we have got the option to have eggs now. I can't remember what pack these got released in, or if it was a free update. I'm not too sure. My memory fails me right now. But adding some eggs to this egg drop box at the front where the hatch is, where it looks like, you know, our zookeepers can open that hatch and just drag the eggs out and store them there for a little bit before they go in the actual box themselves. We're going to add some hay out of the habitat tab, the bedding out of the habitat tab, so to say, and voila, we have got a chicken coop. All that's left to do now is place this chicken coop in the area where we want our chicken habitat to be, and start building out this area. And of course, we're going to use one of the brand new guest gates. So this gives the ability for guests to enter this habitat and to pet whatever animal is in here. It's called a guest encounter now. and it gives the ability, like I just said, for guests to enter this habitat, pet the animals, and then leave the habitat. I'm just going to build it around and try to fit it into the theme of the zoo with the same mesh and the same wood pieces. So this is going to be our main fence, keeping it very basic, but this is what you would find in a petting zoo, especially at a British petting zoo. It is going to be quite basic, but we're still going to make sure it is custom made, and we're going to add as much detail as we possibly can without it making it look silly, really. So just lining everything up now and covering up the bits what we want to cover up to make everything matching into the custom fence that we've created. So you can see me just covering up these bits because they're not customizable. And if you can't customize something, just cover it up with your own construction pieces and make it fit in how you want it to fit in. Start thinking about how you use different construction pieces as well. Like, just because it says post doesn't mean it has to be used as a post. And, you know, just start thinking outside the box. That's what I like to do when playing Planet Zoo. You can see all around the edges as well in the gaps. We've got foliage, a different mixture of foliage. I have got a foliage tutorial on the channel if you are interested in how to make foliage look a little bit more realistic and authentic. You can do. I have got a tutorial on the channel. Go search for it. Just type in Adamup foliage tutorial and you will find it. I placed this custom path. Now this is off the Steam Workshop page. I did not create it. I just thought it fitted in really well. But spoiler alert, I do actually change it because it just didn't suit how I wanted it to suit. So that's all I can explain it. Now you can see that this habitat is really small. It's the perfect size. Now I've not done this on purpose, this was totally accidental. It's the perfect size for 4 adult chickens. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to have any babies unless I get rid of them. But yeah, it fits 4 chickens in this habitat. Now you'll see habitats like this in real life and you would see like 15 chickens in there, so you know they do require quite a lot of space considering to real life. But anyway, after it was complete, it looked a little something like this. All the fencing is in, but I've separated the fence with this rock wall. Again, I've got this off the Steam Workshop page. Do not be afraid to use other people's creations, but you can actually get this in game. I think it's a blueprint what's coming with the barnyard pack, and it's just, well, a brick wall. Just kind of like separates the fence a little bit, and again, add into realism. And I really need to stop saying it and think of different words to say. It's quite difficult doing these voiceovers for Planet Zoo videos, especially when you're me and you've done absolutely hundreds of videos. I think nearly 300 videos now I've done on Planet Zoo, which is absolutely crazy. I never thought I'd get to this stage, and nearly 14,000 subscribers, which absolutely blows my mind. Honestly, it does. And if you are one of them, thank you so much. Honestly, thank you so much. And if you're not one of them, why not? If you do play Planet Zoo, you might as well watch me play and hopefully take some ideas off me. After the foliage was in, very basic foliage, I wanted to keep it quite plain and simple with the buffalo grass and the meadows. We added this like custom made enrichment item. Now the chickens can get on it, but they can't use it as an enrichment item because obviously it's custom made, it's not actually in the game. I just wanted kind of like a seesaw, would you call it? That's what I'm going with, a seesaw. So it looks like the chickens can go on one end and obviously it'll tilt and it'll go onto the other end for the chickens. And just trying to find different pieces here now to fit the needs. Like I said, using different pieces. Just because it says it's for one thing, you can definitely use it for something else. It looks like it gives grip to the wood, to the seesaw, so the chickens will actually be able to use it. Again, I'd use the same kind of technique with the ramp on the inside of the chicken coop. Then trying to find a base what actually fit, and I ended up using this plant pot. This guy, I think from the Africa pack. Kind of recolored it and it looks really well. It looks like it would function. Well, there we go with that in. Just, by the way, just ignore my vet running around with a boxed animal. I really need to create some staff facilities. I've not done that zone yet. But there we go, it's complete. I love how the walls interact with the custom-made fences as well. I'm really happy I included those walls, giving it a more authentic look. That British look in it, that British countryside look. Yeah, all the foliage is in. The chickens are in. They're very happy in there. Like I said, it fits 4. They've got the water in there as well. Unfortunately, I had to put a separate gate. I didn't know this. You need a zookeeper gate as well to be able to actually get your chickens into a habitat. And it's a bit annoying that you have to have 2 separate gates. Surely the zookeeper can enter the guest gate as well to top up food and water, no? But there we go. There is our chicken coop and our chicken habitat complete. If you like the video, then hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next Planet Zoo video.